Tackling hunger is one of our greatest challenges. About 1 in 9 people, over 795 million, do not have enough food to lead healthy, active lives. And hunger kills more people every year than AIDS, malaria and tuberculosis combined. 14.3 million South Africans, about 35% of the total population, experiences food insecurity during some part of the year. To address this and other major challenges, every country on Earth agreed to the UN's set of 17 ambitious Sustainable Development Goals and 169 targets to eradicate poverty and hunger, ensure basic services and equity for all, sustainably manage natural resources, take action on climate, and reverse the loss of biodiversity, all by 2030. Nature is central to achieving these ambitious goals. Biodiversity and ecosystems provide the natural capital that allows countries to sustain jobs and livelihoods, safeguard water sources, bolster tourism, ensure sufficient food, and mitigate the impacts of climate change. But biodiversity in South Africa is under threat, and we are taking action. In 2015, we developed a roadmap, a national biodiversity strategy and action plan to protect, restore and sustainably use biodiversity in order to achieve our own national development goals, including food security. South Africa relies on agriculture and fisheries to feed its population. In turn, these sectors rely on nature. On land, biodiversity is the primary source of our food. It provides the genetic diversity of the seeds we plant, habitat for the insects that pollinate our crops, and the animals that control pests, grasslands for cattle, and forest and grassland ecosystems that sustain the water we need for agriculture. But as biodiversity assets and ecological infrastructure wane, this agriculture is at risk. The livestock industry, for instance, relies on natural grasslands for grazing cattle, but these ecosystems are under threat from development, mining, roads and invasive plants. And many cultivated crops rely wholly on wild pollinators which, should they disappear due to climate change or the removal of the habitat they use for foraging, would represent a loss of an ecosystem service worth millions of dollars to South Africa every year. Our oceans too provide us with a rich store of protein in the fish that we eat, but we need to use our fish stocks wisely, or we will lose them. Protecting, restoring and managing biodiversity will secure the agriculture and fisheries sectors and the future well-being for all South Africans. Our National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan provides a roadmap which will help us protect, restore and sustainably manage the ecosystems that support our food security. One action we are taking is integrating biodiversity priorities into agricultural and development sectors. For example, Conservation South Africa employed 39 eco-rangers to improve the management of grazing herds. They combined the herds of communal farmers to follow a rotational grazing plan that mimics the way that wildlife would have traditionally roamed rangelands thousands of years ago. The grazing plans are designed to act as follow-up treatment to cleared areas, to ensure healthy regeneration of grasslands. The results from this pilot program have seen livestock conditions and grassland productivity improve dramatically, while also returning more native grasses to degraded areas. As an incentive for following this program, the Government of South Africa offers farmers compensation for their cooperation and participation by providing them with animal health services and market access through auctions. In our oceans, we are striving to integrate biodiversity considerations into our mariculture sector. We will do this by mapping key pressures, monitoring the state of our oceans, and declaring marine protected areas to allow our fish stocks to recover and act as a source to support the fisheries industry in areas where fishing is allowed. These and other actions in our National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan will safeguard our future, As we move into action, we are fully integrating our biodiversity plans into South Africa's national development plans and across key industrial sectors, including mining, mariculture, agriculture, forestry and rural development. Together, by protecting our natural resources that are critical for our food security, we can ensure that we have a sustainable future.